Hello, this is Reverend Bill, and it's Saturday night, the 28th. And I thought I'd take a few minutes tonight just to give my thoughts and impressions of the halftime show by Beyonce. I know there's been a lot of comments on it online. Quite frankly, a lot of it's kind of confusing to me. Anyway, as far as my take on it, I guess my biggest complaint is that the show looked to me more like what I would expect a halftime on the Super Bowl goes. There was no mention of Christmas or Jesus or the nativity scene or Santa Claus or reindeers or anything about Christmas. The best of my recollection, I do believe the word Christmas was used once, but I think it was an incidental. It was more like, I don't know, someone might have said it's great to be on Christmas. But apart from that, I don't think that Christmas entered into it in any way, shape, or form. It kind of intrigued me, though, that reading the comment, well, first of all, the newspapers. I think we're at a point now where we pretty much know that just about all the newspapers, the legacy media is in the bag for mostly liberals, and they're pretty much told what to write. And so we can ignore that. They all obviously thought, Beyonce did an outstanding job, blah, blah, blah. She's part of that whole gang, that tie in with the Obamas and Biden and, all the liberal kind of people there. I mean, to the very fact that they want the Super Bowl halftime shows to be more family centric, so they brought in Jay-Z. I mean, that says it all. So, ignoring the legacy media, going mostly by the comments that I've been reading online, it's a little bit surprising. What I've been reading, a lot of them were, calling her fat, said she was covered in cellulite, and other horrible things, saying she's trying to be white. I don't know if that's true. There's plenty to criticize. I don't think they got to make things up, in my opinion. I mean, first off, I'm trying to be as objective as I possibly can. I think she looks spectacular. She really did. I don't think, it was justified, making fun of her weight or her looks. I thought she looked really, really good. The problem with me was that it was not a halftime show for Christmas. It was a 13-minute commercial. And I'll get into that in a little bit. I don't know where these cruel comments are coming through. I do know on the internet there's been a lot of speculation lately that she's a witch, and I don't know whether she is or she isn't. I've seen pictures of her wearing devil's horns, and that certainly doesn't make me want to defend her. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, unless people like Azalea Banks, who actually film herself digging up animal bones to do rituals, and she's proud of it. I mean, or Megan Fox admits she has rituals where she drinks blood. Unless someone comes forward like that, I'm not going to speculate exactly who's into witchcraft. But I have heard rumors about it. I don't know if that's true. I'm not going to speculate on my review for that. But I just don't know why there's so much hatred towards Beyonce. And like I said, it's unnecessary. I don't think there's anything about her that's even remotely fat. A couple of criticisms that I do have about it. By the way, and she's 43. She looks spectacular for anybody, but for 43 with 2 children, I think that's pretty good. She rode out on a horse. Now, she had a guy holding the reins for her, standing next to her, obviously settling the horse and making sure that she didn't have an accident on the horse, didn't fall over and break her hip or something. And she didn't look altogether comfortable with it. I'm not sure why they did it. When they came to the end of the ride, the camera cut right, to our right, to her left, to our right, and you saw a series of people with, I think there's like 3 or 4 men standing on a horse, which is pretty impressive, that really served no other purpose than to get your mind off her, um, I think. And then when they cut back to her, she was off the horse. So I think she didn't feel comfortable mounting or unmounting, or dismounting, I guess, the horse. So they had these people stand there that looked like they were going to do something spectacular and did nothing, other than just take our minds off her while she, off camera, climbed off the horse. Um, so that was kind of interesting. Why didn't you just drive it in a car? I'm sure she can drive. I mean, that would have been fine with me. I didn't need to see her riding a horse. Um, so that seemed like an awful lot of money to waste for having guys stand on a horse for I don't know, 15 seconds so you can climb off a horse. Uh, Now the next thing is that she started a song of Blackbird. My understanding of her Cowboy Carter, I guess, album. By the way, disclaimer: I've never owned a Beyonce album or song, although I've enjoyed some of her music. But she started off with a song, Blackbird, which I happen to know very well, written by Paul McCartney, performed by the Beatles on the White Album, which I believe 67. I don't think it spilled over into 68, but anyway, yeah, it was a solo song that he kind of did. Now the thing is, I thought this was supposed to be a country and western show. The song actually was written by Paul in regards to the civil rights movements of the United States with the black people. He wrote it. I guess he saw a scene where he saw some black women that were being I don't know, oppressed, and he wrote it kind of in sympathy to them. So it was kind of a dedication to civil rights movements in the United States. Why that would fit in with what Beyonce wants to do, a country album of Americana, I don't know. Like the song, beautiful song, but I don't know what it's got to do with country music. Also, whilst there was no mention of Christmas, there was plenty of mention for Cowboy Carter. I started to count how many times I saw the name Cowboy Carter, and then once I found out that everyone was actually wearing a sash, as you can see from the picture, by the way, it was too many to count, too many people to count. At first, I tried, and it was like, I just can't do it, cannot do it. A couple other things, despite the fact that it was, to me, it was a 13-minute ego trip. At one point they pulled away and they had some lights in the crowd, and I think it was supposed to light up with the words "My House." This was after me looking a few times and stopping it, and because at first I think it was badly choreographed, because it looked to me like it was New York House, which I thought was a weird thing to have. But I backed up a couple of times and looked at it, and I came to the conclusion it was supposed to say "My House," because of course Beyonce is from Texas. Now here's might be my biggest beef: is there was a song, Jolene, which was written by Dolly Parton many years ago, and the song originally was written as a very touching song about a woman who I guess was getting older in age, and it was a pleading a young girl not to steal her man. I guess she was down on a lot of things, and all she had left was her man, and she was basically pleading this young, beautiful thing not to take away the one thing that she had. Although she admitted that, yes, you can have him if you want him, but please don't take him just because you can. Dolly Parton in her day was a pretty good-looking woman, and probably for her age still is. Now, for some reason, Beyonce wanted to do the song, but I don't want to speak for her reasoning, but she didn't think it was appropriate to sing it properly. So she changed the words around so that it actually turned the song upside down. And in Beyonce's version, it's a woman who's telling this young girl she can't have her man because she's too good and she's a queen and all this kind of stuff. So again, it sounded to me like a kind of an ego trip. I mean, to me, you're singing a song. I mean, you should probably want to check your ego at the door. Everyone knows how beautiful Beyonce is. I don't think anyone actually thinks that if she sang the song Jolene the way it was written, that she would be, groveling to keep a man. So I don't know. Swallow your pride. I mean, if you want to do the song, do it right. Don't change the words around. We all know you're beautiful. You don't have to keep on telling us. She even called herself a queen. Whatever. I guess I would have respected her more if she sang the song like it was originally written. That would have shown me her ego was checked at the door. On the plus side, I'm sure she was lip syncing, but it was hard for me to tell. Um, she was doing a lot of dancing, and I didn't hear any huffing and puffing. So either she's really in great shape, or that she was lip syncing, which I'm sure she was lip syncing, by the way. But it was pretty good. Uh, the guest appearances, Shabuzi, I guess, and oh, um, Post Malone. Those were fine. Those were fine. Well done. Didn't have a problem with that. A lot of people had a problem with Blue Ivy, saying that I think she's only 12, maybe, that she shouldn't be exposed. I can kind of see where they're coming from. And if she was put in a situation where she was being sexually exploited, I would certainly agree with that. However, I mean, I think she could dance. She did it well. She was dressed very appropriately. I had no problem with that. I don't think it's a problem having children perform at a young age. Go back into the vaudeville days. There's a lot of children that got their start in vaudeville, and granted, they didn't have worldwide TV back then, but that's not their fault. They performed to as many people as they possibly could. So I'm not really necessarily against exposing her to the limelight as long as it's done tastefully. And quite frankly, I thought it was done tastefully. Maybe we'll hear more from her as she gets older. I don't know, but she performed very well, and I don't think she was exploited in the least. Um, the other thing that's going on is, I guess that towards the end, Beyonce made a motion with her hand like a gun, holding out her fingers, and big banner came down saying "bang," and I guess people felt threatened by that. How wimpy are we getting as a culture, as a nation? I mean, when I was a little boy many years ago, I used to run around chasing my sister all the time, playing cops and robbers and shooting her with my fingers. The idea that now the grown people can't accept, making a gun with your fingers without what do they get? Like shell shock? They get like PTSD. They got to go to their analyst to talk about it. I mean, can we toughen up a little bit mentally? I mean, she's a performer. She's getting up there and she's pretending to have a gun with her fingers. I don't really think that anyone really needs therapy over that, but that's just me. Um, anyway, that's pretty much all I got to say about that. Um, which, all in all, a pretty good show, not a Christmas show. It is on Netflix, by the way. So if you want to watch it and you got Netflix, you certainly can find it and play it. And if you disagree with me, please let me know. So that's it. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Other words, I guess I'll talk to you later. Thanks.